I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster. The Republicans have to get tougher. If we end the filibuster, we can do exactly what we want. We're not going to lose power.
President Trump wants to see this shutdown end. It's having a big impact on the elections that we're seeing around the country tonight. It's having a big impact on American families, on troops, on those who wonder whether or not there'll be a paycheck for them, government assistance, or a key determination that they may be seeking from the government. Abigail Spanberger wants to be the next governor of Virginia. It's certainly impacting her race. Take a listen.
Let your rage fuel you.
3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot.
Here we have the Democrat candidate running for Attorney General.
Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones?
Wishing not only that he had 2 bullets to put in a guy's head, but then he wishes death on his children.
A lot of people who've, never met a trans person.
Would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it?
Now, there are allegations. We've seen that we saw left-wing groups promoting some of these candidates who engaged in the violent rhetoric over text message that's been exposed. We'll see if that ultimately prevails. Corey DeAngelis is a senior fellow at the American Culture Project, and he joins us now. So, Corey, if Abigail Spanberger pulls this off tonight, will she have the teachers' unions spending of major dollars to thank?
Of course she will. The Democrats are in bed with the teachers union. The teachers union at this point should be relabeled just an arm of the Democrat Party. Randi Weingarten's union has contributed about 98% of their contributions to Democrats in the last election cycle. And just in time at the very end, at the 11th hour for Spanberger, she contributed about $500,000 to the Spanberger campaign from the American Federation of Teachers. If you look over in New York City as well, in the mayoral race, Zohran Mamdani was campaigning across the Brooklyn Bridge just yesterday, and you had Randi Weingarten arm in arm with Zohran walking across the bridge there at his stump speech. And so, look, you have the teachers unions aren't just an extension of the Democrats. They're actually the far left wing of the Democrat Party, and they're in bed with the communists, the socialists like Mamdani as well.
That, I think, has been the revealing part of this experience in these elections. I always believed the teachers' unions were kind of the establishment of the Democratic Party. They wanted to win elections to get the policy concessions they want, but we could be looking at something very different. In the midterms, do you expect that the teachers' unions will get involved to have the most progressive candidates representing Democrats?
I think that's exactly right, Matt. And I think this is why Randi Weingarten left the Democrat National Committee. She was on the DNC for about 30 years. And she even had a really high position on the Rules Committee, an influential spot. And she left and basically said because the DNC wasn't listening to her as much anymore. And I think it's because there was a disagreement with the new chair, Ken Martin. He didn't think it was appropriate to flank the Democrats from the left into primary incumbents who were not sufficiently progressive. But it appears Randi Weingarten, the teachers unions, disagreed with that idea. And so if you're a conservative teacher and an independent teacher, or even a Democrat teacher who doesn't like people like so radical like Mamdani, you should stop funding these monsters at the teachers union. Randi Weingarten makes over $500,000 a year to push her far left agenda in the schools. And so you can opt out of the union at opt out today and join alternatives like the Teacher Freedom Alliance. I think that's how we incentivize people like Randi Weingarten to change their tune, start to focus on, the teachers and the kids as opposed to their far left politics.
My viewers are going to see Democrats win some elections tonight, and they're going to hear you talking about the amount of money these teachers unions put into these campaigns. What do you think they're actually buying for that money in terms of policy?
Well, the radical left and the teachers unions have figured out that they don't have to have their own kids anymore. They can infiltrate the government school system, use money to put their thumb on the scale, to push the electorate to the left, to push the people in power to the left, to push their radical agenda into the classroom. Then they can brainwash millions of kids, young, impressionable minds, for 7 hours a day, for 13 years of their lives, to go up and churn out more Democratic foot soldiers. Once they get out of high school, they'll be 18. They can go and vote for people like Zohran Mamdani. Why do you think he's in first place in New York City? He's expected to win tonight. And look, I think the school system and the union control of that system is largely to blame. I think the general populace would be a lot more conservative if they could choose their school. If we had school choice, and thankfully in the big beautiful bill, there was a nationwide school choice policy passed in it. It does allow governors to opt in. So I think the Republicans will be first in line to benefit from that program in states like Texas and Florida. But look, families need to be able to vote with their feet away from schools that tell you that big government's the solution to all your problems. We need competition, and that school choice provides that. And then teacher choice is important too. They can now leave the union and not fund these monsters who endorse J. Two Bullets Jones in the Virginia Attorney General's race, for example.
So bizarre, but very revealing. We're glad you're out there fighting them. Corey DeAngelis, Senior Fellow at the American Culture Project, thanks for joining us and having the warning in the right place so that we're able to identify it. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Matt. Good talking to you.